I'm working on a little project today. Wrecking the door wasn't part of it, but we'll carry on. All right, Purelator guy just got here. He just left. Right there. 55-gallon transfer tank, slip tank. I bought one of the cheaper slip tanks I could get. Because diesel fuel prices are too high. Well, the cost of living's too high. Everything's too high. And so, I'm looking at ways of cutting some diesel fuel costs. So, I got the big bulk tank yesterday, I'll show you. I got it shoehorned into the shed next to the wood shed, undercover and out of the weather. So it's inside, it's undercover perfectly. Now I didn't get a chance to paint it yet because the weather's cold, but it was blocking my work area here. Too big, taking up too much workspace, so I put it away where I want it to go. Me and MJ put it away yesterday, and I'll paint it when the weather warms up because I want that metal tank protected, you know, from the weather. Even though it's inside, I don't want condensation and everything, and then I got to get some diesel for it. So anyway, and I've been sucking out of that big bulk tank lately too. I think I took out 50 liters so far. I put it in the track loader for pushing snow, so I got a little extra discount on that tank just by sucking fuel out of it. But anyway, so I ordered this slip tank. I'm going to keep this slip tank in the Nissan for now. And then when I put the 3500 Cummins back on the road in the springtime, when the roads clean up, I'll be putting it in that 3500 Ram. So there's a method to my madness. What I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start running colored diesel, off-road diesel, and I'm going to get it up in a reservation on the other side of the city up there. So every time I go to North Bay, for whatever it may be, I'm not going to make special trips, but when I do go, if we go for groceries or we have to pick something up, supplies for me this year in North Bay, for whatever reason, I'm going to put 55 gallons of colored diesel in there every time I go, and when I come home, I'm going to empty it in the bulk tank. And that's just what I'm going to do. And rather than call up the big bulk diesel truck up here, and I'm just going to get it on the reservation myself, and I'll just bring it home a tank at a time. There's no panic. And if I find out that's too slow for me, then I'll just order my off-road diesel with the big bulk truck and he can come here. But for now, I'm going to try this. And I needed a slip tank anyway. I wanted a slip tank, so I bought this guy. And as you can see, whether I made a mistake buying this, I have no idea. We're going to find out. I got that Filrite manual pump there I bought, and it says right on it, 20 gallons per 100 strokes. So every time you stroke that puppy 100 times, you get 20 gallons. So that's the way it is. I got it and I'm going to use it. So that's what I'm doing today, you guys. And I couldn't film outside because it was too windy. So I got this slip tank. Just plain Jane, nothing special. And it's steel, and steel's not the most preferable slip tank material, I can tell you that right now looking at it. You want aluminum if you can, but steel's okay. You just got to keep them fueled up and keep it sloshed around so they don't rust out inside or long-term sitting. So now we'll have a little look. And two-inch bung on these too. It's called a bung, kind of like a bung hole, but no, bung, B-U-N-G, bung. 2-inch bung on these, and 2-inch NPT thread on that Filrite, so it fits up in there nicely. And maybe I made a mistake buying the manual pump one. I don't know. We're gonna find out. But you know what? The price is good, and I'm going to try it. I'm just going to see how this method works, and we'll go from there. And we'll try that. So in the meantime, these tanks here, like any fuel tank too, through hot summertime heat, you get that thermal expansion inside. You got to vent these tanks, and this comes with a vent. And this tank comes with a vented breather cap. All you do is put your Teflon tape on there, and that allows, through expansion in that hot weather, those fumes to escape. And there you go, that's the purpose right there. Up that vented breather cap, as I said, instead of your tank expanding and blowing out and everything, right there, it's spring loaded and vented breather cap. Good. And I ordered this tank off Amazon. And you know what? This tank I don't think took more than 3 or 4 days to get here, and it got here. That's kind of impressive. And it come out of Pennsylvania too. So, one thing I'm not sure about is, it wouldn't hurt, but I don't think I'm going to do it. It wouldn't hurt to put a filter on this pump, a small filter, but you know what? I've got a strainer, primary strainer, and then a secondary fine water block filter on the bulk tank, so I don't think I'm really going to put a filter on this one. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. And so anyway, you can see this is extendable to drop in, to not drop in, and for a deeper tank. The whole idea is to keep this as clean as you can in the bottom, obviously, and we'll just go from there. And the thing about this is, this tank is small enough where I can take it in and out of the truck myself. You know, I'm not going to kill myself trying to move it in and out of the truck. If I want to take it out of the truck, no problem. And I was thinking of bolting this to a hardwood skid, so I can put it in maybe with a track loader, and then if I need to take it out, I can just use the track loader and with the pallet forks and take it out. But we'll see. I'm not sure just yet. I'm not sure of a bunch of things just yet. I'm just going to try this though, and see how it goes. Wrong way. Can I already tell you? Wrong way. When you're putting that Teflon tape on, man, when you're turning those threads clockwise on the right-hand thread. Oh, shit. Screwed it up. Again. Okay. You don't want that taped on thread. That's tight. That has to hook in there. That has to hook there. And there you go. So, that's the plan for the bulk fuel. We'll see how it goes. I needed a slip tank and I needed a bulk tank. So I got the bulk tank used and the slip tank brand new. Alright. And one thing about Nissan's got the neatest little die-cast aluminum clamps on these Pro 4s where you loosen them up, you slide them in, and it don't matter whether you're tying an ATV down, no matter what you're tying down. They got the slickest tie-down system, and then all you do, slide them in place, in the bed rail right there, and you got your tie down. And I put the four-wheeler in here, the canoe, whatever, and then you got your 4 tie downs. And all I'm going to do is put a ratchet strap around this tank. So they're pretty slick. You just loosen them off. Slide them in the truck bed like so. And then slide them into position. Alright, so we got her put in. I put down them Nissan cargo latches, 2 on each side. And I just kind of ratchet strapped it to those latches. And now I can take that tank in and out as required. It's not big, it's not bulky, it's not heavy. And oh, it's getting windy. So that's that, and that's how I'm going to handle that fuel. So 2 ratchet straps in there, 2 ratchet straps, and that's it. And it's got, if you look carefully, you may not see them, it's got rubber feet on the bottom of that tank. I put them on 4 rubber feet that come with the kit. I put them on there, and I may end up having to put this on a hardwood skid, I'm not sure. What I'm up to today on this transfer tank, I put it in the truck and everything, and then I changed my mind. Because what I'm going to do on this transfer tank is I'm going to put a fuel filter on it. I wasn't going to, but because my primary bulk tank's got a strainer and a fuel filter on it, a good goldenrod water block filter, so I'm going to put a water block filter on this one too. Just in case, which is going to happen, that I refuel my equipment right out of this tank instead of the bulk tank on whatever occasion. So I need to get a fuel filter on here. So we're going to put a goldenrod on this one. And another thing we're going to do, where I made a mistake, I ain't running no more Teflon tape either. That was a mistake on my part. I don't want Teflon tape. Teflon tape can come off the threads and it can migrate right into your system, and I don't like Teflon. I changed my mind. I should have thought about that ahead of time, and I'm going to go to pipe dope. And I'm also changing how I hook this pump up. I'm going from the outlet on the side to the outlet on the top. I'm doing a whole bunch of changes here today. So all you do on this one, take your plug out of the top. Alright, so I had my outlet with my fuel line coming off the side here to eject fuel out of this port. I'm changing it. I want the fuel to come out the top. So you just pull this plug out, there's an O-ring on there, and you switch it over. It's just that simple. Plug up this port on the side, and we're going to have our fuel come out the top, because I got to put that goldenrod water block filter on there. Just remember that's a plastic plug with an O-ring. You don't want to be cranking on that too tight. So there you go, you can see close. I took it, the plug from the top on that Filrite, and I put it on the side. Now we're going to exhaust our fuel right there on the outlet side of the pump. Change it from the side to the top. Just makes it easier. Makes it easier for plumbing too, to plumb in the filter. Now we're going to run a street elbow in here for starters. I'm also going to change this. There we go. Change the orientation of the pump. That way, I can pump off the side of the truck. Alright, so we put a street elbow on top. Now I changed the orientation of the tank to the side of the truck a little bit this time around. I made a few changes while I'm doing this. So now, your fill cap and your vented breather cap, they're all one. That unscrews, you fill your tank. So I'll put that to this side of the truck. Last time it was in the center, but I'm going to put it to this side because I'm always working off the driver's side. So yeah, and we'll just carry on with this. All right, got a water block filter here, right there, and I'll explain to you a little bit about that water block. Okay guys, this is called a water block filter, and Goldenrod makes them, and what it is this element right here is impregnated with a polymer, and what this polymer does is it chemically reacts with the water. I'm going to imagine it's like a coagulant. Can I get that on there now? No. So it acts like a coagulant, and it actually attracts water. This could be tricky. This could be tricky. So it attracts water and it collects water inside this filter. And eventually what it'll do is it'll plug up your filter with water. And then that way you know, and one of these filters here will collect about a half a cup of water. So once this, if you got bad fuel, or you got wet fuel, or a lot of condensation in your tank, about half a cup of water in the filter and she's plugged, you got to order another one. And these filters are like 25 or 30 bucks. So it should take a long time, unless you don't have a good thread seal on your pump on your threads, or on your fill cap where moisture can get in, or it's just sitting idle and you get condensation in your tank. Those are about the only way you're going to get moisture in there. And you can see the goldenrod. It comes with a fuel drain in the bottom, water drain, fuel drain. It won't be a water drain because it collected in the filter, so it's a fuel drain. And there you go. So it collects dirt, debris, lint, it says, whatever. It'll catch anything. I think it's 10 micron. And then it also traps water in that filter. So it's a pretty good filtering element. Mind you, you pay for them too. I think those are like 70 bucks for the whole setup on there. 70 Canadian, of course. United States, it's $29.95. And then, of course, you'll find your on sales day in the States where you can get it for $19.95, whatever. We don't get those deals in Canada. We're going to run some Teflon on here. As I said earlier, I got rid of the pipe tape. I just seen it was migrating. I didn't like that. And it does migrate. So I called up to the reservation about fuel right now this morning. $1.46 a liter for off-road diesel, 146. And I do believe in town it's over $2 a liter. Let's get this bastard straightened out. So there's a big price difference between dyed, colored on-road and off-road diesel. And that all comes down to the greedy government and excise taxes on fuel. If this government really gave a shit about working class people, they would cut some of those excise taxes on that fuel right now, especially in tough times like this. There's a time and a place for taxation. We all have to have it for roads and infrastructure and healthcare. I get it. You have to pay taxes. That's just the way it is. But you know what? Trudeau is a maniac. Absolute maniac. Doing nothing for us. Hey. Alright, so that's there. Looking pretty good. She's ready for use, man. She's ready to go and pick up a load of fuel. There's actually 40 bucks worth of diesel in here, and I put it in 40 bucks worth of fuel probably a week and a half ago. And I only put it in here because the tank was empty, and I wanted that diesel fuel to slosh around and coat the inside because this is a steel tank and I don't want any rust. So there's 40 bucks. Surprising how much 40 bucks in diesel weighs at $2 a liter. Now, when my swivel comes in, it should be in maybe this week or a week, I'm not sure. I'm going to split this in here. Who knows when it'll come in? I ordered it. And I'm going to put a swivel in here, and this will swivel right here. So this doesn't bend in here and kink the hose up and stuff. So I will put a swivel on here. It's on order. But I just wanted to close the system up for now. And if I go and get a load of fuel, no problem. I can still get it. And when the swivel comes in, it'll go in there. But that, right there, 55 US gallons. I'm going to assume it's US gallons because it come out of the States down in PA, this tank. So 55 gallon US. DZ, right there. Transfer tank. Vented filler cap, right? You need that for the siphoning effect when you're pulling fuel out of the tank. And you also need that vented cap for thermal expansion. When you leave these tanks out in the sun, that fuel and the gas are going to want to expand and they want to escape. So you got to have that in line anyway to prevent overpressurization of that tank. All right. Good morning, everybody. A couple days later on this transfer tank here, and I put a swivel on there that swivels two different directions, this way and this way, right there. So I put a swivel on the hose, that swivel right there, and that goldenrod water block filter right there. And if you look inside, like I said, That's called a water block because of the polymer elements inside there. It actually traps and holds onto water in the filter element. And you can tell your filter's getting blocked in there when your flow rates really start to slow down, because that will encase and trap water. I guess it basically, like I said, it coagulates in there and will not allow fuel to flow through there with any ease once it plugs up. So anyway, that there swivel fitting is almost a must, because it just allows that hose to bend and flex freely without kinking that hose for you. So between that swivel and that goldenrod water block filter, we're good to go. And I'm going to go fill that thing up with diesel, and that's 55 US gallons, 208 liters Canadian. Okay, you guys, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll go from there. See you in the next one.